Hola, hello everybody, Wine with Jimmy here, and welcome to the Wine with Jimmy Club. This is my series in the Wine with Jimmy Club called Mastering Spain, looking at Galicia and the denominación Rías Baixas. Now, if you have any comments or questions, we'd love to hear from you here at Wine with Jimmy, so please do leave your comment or question in the comments section below this video. Also, in the description, you will find the information about the Wine with Jimmy Club. This is a monthly subscription service for just £3.99 a month, which you can cancel at any time. But it gives you great access to wine recommends from me, food and wine pairings, tasting notes, and lots of wine series like Armenia, Georgia, Mastering Spain, Mastering Italy, Mastering Germany, and so on. Let's talk about Rías Baixas. So the pronunciation you'll see there, it's a difficult one for the English-speaking world. Rías Baixas is how we say it. The Rías Baixas is basically an area meaning lower estuaries or submerged river valleys. And it's a series of 4 estuary inlets located in the southwestern coast of Galicia. These are the Ria de Muros y Noia, the Ria de Arousa, Ria de Pontevedra, and the Ria de Vigo. Let's have a look at some of the information here about the DO, so you know the regulation behind it. Oh, and sorry, just to mention, these are the wonderful beteas, which are these floating platforms used for harvesting lots of shellfish in these estuaries. They are prime real estate, fetching hundreds of thousands of euros, and there are waiting lists to get these because they are very fruitful in their production of shellfish, which of course Galicia is very well known for. Now, Rías Baixas was awarded its DO in 1988. They started ratifying it in 1980, calling it Albariño, but this was not allowed under the new European Union EEC regulations to name a region after a grape variety. So it was taken that they should be naming it Rías Baixas. The styles here, there are reds, whites, and sparkling, espumoso. And the primary white variety, as you can see from your table, is Albariño for the white, with secondary varieties like Trexiodura, Luriera, Caíño Branco, Torrontes, and Godeo. The black varieties primarily are Caíño Tinto, Espadiero, Suzon, with secondary varieties like Luriero Tinto, Mencia, Branzalao, Pedrao, and Castañal. A little bit of history for you to begin with this rather gorgeous and wonderful region. To begin with, the main comment to note here is that this was an area populated by the Celts, and it's actually a migration of Celts from Swabia, called the Swabi. So that is today Germany, in the southern section of Germany, your Württemberg area. Now they migrated, they landed upon the shores of Galicia, and this is where the original thought of Albariño, which means white Rhine, was thought to come from. They thought it was from Riesling. Of course, that has been dispelled. We then have a lot of these amazing Celtic ruins of settlements, what are called castros, which you can go and look at. There are beautiful ones to visit in very prime locations on river valleys and high mountain sides. The Roman influence here was minor, as it was further away from the mountains where the tin mining was happening for the Roman army. Historically, located in the northwest, Rías Baixas coincides with the borders of ancient Galicia. We now feel rather confident that we can say that the variety, such as Albariño, has been cultivated in Rías Baixas for over 1,000 years. And I mentioned that in my previous slides on the grape varieties. Cistercian monks, now there is a theory that monks of Cluny brought the Albariño grape from the Mostiero do Armentera, that's in the Pontevedra region of Salnés, in the 12th century, and then it was spread or cultivated to the rest of Galicia and northern Portugal. The Ulla River is considered the real country of Albariño, since vines are cultivated on its banks, and this wine has been produced since the Middle Ages. And we know that we have had that research by the mission of Galicia that we found pips dating the Albariño back to the 2nd to the 4th century. Now, in the 18th century, much land was donated to the church, and wealthy estates started purchasing the land and building what are called pathos. Pathos are kind of like estates or castles. Now, you'll see actually that is a horio, an orrio, which is a raised storage room, a part of a patho, and that is from Senorans on your picture. So in 1980, the region established the Denominación Específica Albariño, which is the specific designation Albariño. As I mentioned, when Spain joined the EEC, in accordance with its specific regulations regarding the naming of appellations, the designation was changed to Rías Baixas in 1988. The picture is fitting because the work of Marisol Bueno, who is the wonderful head of Paso Senorans, served as the appellation's president from 1986 to 2007. To reiterate, the patho I have showed you there, typically they're built out of granite, which is the rock of the region. Let's talk about the general climate here in Galicia. So in the Rías Baixas, the DO Rías Baixas actually gives you a classic maritime climate with annual rainfall ranging from somewhere around 1,200 millimeters to 1,600 millimeters per annum. That is 47 to 67 inches. Vineyards are planted from sea level up to about 300 meters, with the areas around the Condado de Teia being some of the highest. The major soil here is predominantly granite, but we will find some schist and a little bit of pizarra as well. So we find a little bit of schist and alluvium-based soils. The appellation is divided into 5 subzones, which I'm about to go through. So Val de Salnés, Condado de Teia, some of the highest sites, O Rosal, Soutomaior, and Ribeira de Ulla. Now, the first 3 I mentioned, Val de Salnés, Condado de Teia, and O Rosal, were a part of the original DO, with the others being added later on. Let's start then with the most important, volumetrically, but probably spiritually as well. This is the Val de Salnés, the oldest subzone in Rías Baixas, and recognized widely by the Spanish as the birthplace of Albariño. It is located on the lower areas of the Ulla River, near the Atlantic coast, where my red arrow is pointing to on the map. The vineyards here are at sea level, and that goes up to the slopes of the Ulla, with the spiritual center really being the town of Cambados. That's where you'll find the Palacio de Fefiñanas, for example. This subzone is the flattest, coolest, and wettest of all 5 subzones. And because of that, classically, the vine training system here is the pergola or parral, which goes all the way down to the coast. 60% of the plantation are found here in Val de Salnés, making it the highest concentration of oldest vines in Rías Baixas. Albariño from this subzone is known for its vibrant acidity, green fruit, citric, and salinity. Let's come down to the southern section on the border of Portugal, and this is the Condado de Teia zone. This is the second largest subzone with about 20% of the production, so 1/5. It's situated on the right bank of the Miño River, and if you visit estates here, typically you will be on estates that have a great panoramic of both the Miño and Portugal's northern regions, such as Monção. The terrain here is mostly mountainous and the climate is continental, making it the warmest of the 5 subzones. The warm climate is certainly what produces a unique style of wine. Albariño is the primary grape, but it is actually often blended with Trexiadura, resulting in wines that are a bit richer with lower acidity and notes of stone and tropical fruit. Next up is Rosal. Rosal is located also on the right bank of the Miño River, but where it meets the Atlantic Ocean, forming a natural border with Portugal. Now, vineyards are also planted typically here on some altitude, on terrace slopes, flanking streams that are making their way into the Miño. Blended wines are common also in this subzone, with Luriero, or Luriera, and Caíño Blanco serving as the primary blending partners of Albariño. Due to its southern location, the climate is slightly warmer, which results in wines with a softer acidity, somewhat comparable to Condado de Tea, but often you'll find more salinity, herbal notes with that richer fruit. The 2 newer subzones are next, and first up is Ribeira de Ulla. Ribeira de Ulla is the northernmost and largest subzone, which is close to Santiago de Compostela. You'll see that on the map. So it's the largest subzone by surface area, but it is very small in comparison to the previous 3. It sits at quite high elevations, offering a distinct environment for growing. It's cooler than coastal subzones, resulting in wines that are typically higher in acid and lighter in style. And there seems to be some interesting reds coming from the Ribeira de Ulla. And then in 2000, we have Soutomaior being elevated, the smallest of the 5 subzones. Sorry, it was elevated in 1996, located at the hills at the head of the Ria de Vigo, just above Condado de Tea. This is exclusively Albariño, and you will find that it can share a similarity with Val de Salnés. Some labeling terminologies here in a table for you. So if it is labeled as a Rías Baixas, there's no restriction on grape varieties, and it will come from the whole of Rías Baixas, those 5 subzones. Rías Baixas Albariño must be 100% Albariño from the same area. Rías Baixas Condado de Tea is a minimum 70% Albariño with Trexiadura topping up. That is, of course, from Condado de Tea, the second largest subzone. Rías Baixas Rosal is 70% minimum Albariño topped up with Luriera. This will say Rosal on the label. Rías Baixas Val de Salnés and also Rías Baixas Ribeira de Ulla is a minimum 70% Albariño with Luriera, Trexiadura and Caíño Blanco. These will come respectively from the zones of Val de Salnés and Ribeira de Ulla. The wine business to mention here is that we have quite a lot of producers. There's currently actually 180 registered producers making around 500,000 litres, that's 132,000 gallons of wine annually. Most of them come from small wineries making less than 50,000 litres, that's around 13,200 gallons per year. But the region's largest producers are cooperatives led by the picture you see there, Martin Kodaks, but also Paco y Lola as well. The growth of Rías Baixas has been absolutely astronomical, with production increasing 1,300% in the last 20 years. Talking about the styles and some producers, this is by no means exhaustive, by the way. Of course, I'm just picking a few. Albariño from Rías Baixas is traditionally unoaked and best enjoyed young, though that is changing. While young wines can be consumed fresh, they can, in some instances, have an ability to age, developing this texture and often actually greater aromatic complexity. they will also hold on to their signature freshness, which can have a salinity. But also barrel aging, sobrelias, cement and concrete, skin contact are all giving you these complex secondary and sometimes tertiary notes. Also, if Albariño has an ability to age for a longer time, often beyond 5 years, with great examples like the Tres Años from Palacios de Fiñas, you'll see that the third in from the left, and Pato Senrans, the Colección, and even the Selección de Nada, so on the left-hand side, and Fia Boyos, Finca Alto, they all will develop this quite signature petrol-like characteristic, which can be similar to Riesling. There's also sparkling wines made here, and other producers are focusing on varieties such as Caíño Blanco. Second from the right there is La Mar, which is 100% or nearly 100% of Caíño Blanco. I think it's about 98% from Terras Galda, for example. And also red varieties. I've included the Atis Branzolao, you'll see just here, which are making some brilliant reds. In fact, they make Pedral, they make a Suzon, they make Castañal, Branzolao, as you can see. Very exciting producer indeed. Please do join me next for the DO of Ribeira. This is exclusive video content, so if you wish to access it, you'll need to go across to the Wine with Jimmy Club and subscribe for just £3.99 a month. You can cancel at any time, but you get access to lots of exclusive video content. Well, ciao for now. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. I've been Jimmy. Ciao, ciao.